What is good, everybody? My Paper Moon fam. It's your boy, PaperSin, aka the Hokage of the village. And in that loud, you feel me? Let's talk about AI.
AI. What's the A stand for?
Artificial.
What's the
Intelligence.
Oh, what was the A again?
Let's move on.
There's some good about it, and there's some bad about it. It's a tool, kind of like a gun. It's not inherently good or bad. It's just a tool. Like if you do have a gun and somebody breaks into your place and pow pow, that's self-defense. You keeping them from doing whatever they were trying to do when they broke into your house. But if you do have a gun and you go out and decide to pow pow for no reason, that's negative. That's societal bad. You know what I'm saying? With AI, people are using it for things like medicine, technology, to help increase their business. There's a lot of different good people are using it for, but then there's a lot of bad people are using it for. Just like that incident when a website was found where a bunch of female streamers nude were AI nudes of female streamers and things like that. And but then you also have people like what's his name? I forgot what his name is. I had it just jumped out of my head. He's using it to like make AI music videos of streamers, like he's got one about Hassan and Hassan shocking his dog. He's got one about Emiru and the Mizkif. Those are funny as well. What else? Well, people are also using it to make videos. That's not bad, to be honest. It can be used to help enhance videos, but it also can be used to make videos are made entirely of AI. I recently saw one where they remade Naruto. They remade some Naruto clips using AI. That was pretty awesome. But there's also just like AI brain rot. You know, for instance, I don't know if you guys would consider this AI brain rot, but here, let me show you. Like the Bigfoot type vlogs, This is by the channel Boom Morphed Again. This is Bigfoot in the Backrooms. I'll play a little bit of it.
Boom morphed again. Everything is yellow, like pee yellow. It's just disgusting. Boom morphed again. Bigfoot, we morph. That's how we stay camouflaged so nobody can find us. Get used to it. I've been trapped in here for 3 days. I was sent here by a crazy doll when visiting the Conjuring house.
If you didn't see it, go watch that first. I'm not recapping the chaos.
Bro, this wallpaper feels like skin, like human skin. Why is it warm? Boom, morphed again. Is that a dead guy? Gonna poke him.
Why did I poke him? Why did I poke him? Who does that? Look on the ground? Go back? Bro, are you serious? That man just got slurped into a vent.
You said he dropped a key card. I swear if there's no key card, I'm gonna lose it.
Nah, bro. This ain't the back rooms. This the crack rooms.
Chat, I got the key card. I'm not trying to overdose on escape powder. Yeet.
Bro, what is this skibbity?
Oh, nigga, run! All right, that's enough of that. If you want to find out what the rest is, I'll be sure to put the links in the description below. Personally, I like to when it comes to like Bigfoot or I guess like a Sasquatch type of situation, I prefer to watch SASSY the Sasquatch. Let me show you. This is kind of cool.
So you're telling me that you're me? Yeah, mate, I'm your higher self. You're my higher self. Yeah, can't be. What are you talking about? No one's fucking higher than me, mate. I'm fucking high all the time. Fucking heaps high right now. Nah, mate, that's not what I mean. Oh, yeah, I'll explain it a bit later. It's a bit fucking how you going. I hope you don't.
Now, SASSY the Sasquatch is a part of a wider universe. It's from a YouTube channel called The Big Les Show. And then there's a bunch of characters, and they all have like their own sections, like sequences of videos that focus on those different characters. But all the other characters interact with each other in those shows sometimes. Okay, let me show you. Like, this is Big Les. They're Sassy.
Sassy, what the fuck is that?
You know, it's my new food business, mate. Sassy Foods. We make it, you take it.
Well, good on ya.
Yeah, it's fucking sick, mate. Try some.
It's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, it's called the TRIPPA snipper.
Why's it called a TRIPPA snipper?
Because it trips you the fuck out and your whole life gets snipped from reality. Plus you hear the sound of a whippersnipper in the back of your head for like 7 hours or so.
Sassy, what's in it?
Oh, you know, the usual. Speed, weed, heroin, cocaine, mushrooms, pinoclean, petrol, battery acid, salvia, meth, some herbs and spices and some lettuce and tomato, vodka sauce, bam and the dirt is gone, Ajax spray and wipe, some chicken and cheese, all wrapped in a tortilla. Yeah, you're starting to feel the sassy food magic, mate. You're the biggest fucking druggo. You're mate. There's mate. Fucking druggo.
I'm going back to Kingdom Come.
Go back. Didn't you know? You will never be a king.
You're not my brother, Leslie. You're a fat oaf. Fuck you, Les. You're not my father.
Hey, mate, can I borrow $4? Is you alright? It's only drugs.
Now, the whole thing about Sassy the Sasquatch is not all about drugs. There's some good knowledge in there. There's some good messages in there. We'll go with that. There's some good messages in there. There's even some spiritual shit in there. There's some good stuff in there. It's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it before. But I digress. That's not what we're here for. What we are here for today is going over, AI slap. Because we know that there are like companies that have hired a bunch of random that will hire a bunch of random creators to put out just constantly put out videos, and all these different YouTube channels will be under one kind of company, and they'll be all just be putting out random videos that kind of are just brain rot, and their goal of the company is to just make as much money as they can with those creators and everything. But of course, with the use of AI, now companies can just fire the creators if they want and just make a bunch of AI brain slap and put it out there for everybody to enjoy. Now, with Sassy the Sasquatch, I mean, people take their time to make that in like Microsoft Paint, So I kind of respect the hard work they put into it. With like AI, you just kind of like have to like vibe code or whatever. I mean, it's cool. I'm not hating on it, but because I use it I use it to make some clips for my other channel just to like help give a visual explanation of what I'm talking about. But we'll talk more about my other channel another time. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to AI brain slop, imagine companies just using AI to auto mass produce brain slop. You know what I'm saying? Here, the video we're gonna be checking out today is by Moon, one of my favorite YouTubers, one of my favorite YouTube channels to check out. Here, let me show you. It's called It Begins. AI brain rot is destroying your brain, and it's getting worse. By the YouTube channel Moon, and as always, links to the video and links to the channel will both be in the description below. Let's get it.
Social media used to look like this. Now it looks like this. Look at that difference. Something fundamental has broken, and people have finally had enough. They're not just taking breaks anymore, they're actually deleting their accounts, closing apps they've used for years and never looking back.
Your phone ruins your brain.
I was so addicted to this kind of false version of my life that it was just taking over. Just scroll.
For background, I deleted everything, Instagram, Twitter, everything. I just became my most authentic self.
Digital detox retreats are now booming. Entire communities have formed around quitting, so what finally pushed them over the edge? Well, social media has transformed into something antisocial, a broadcast network where you're the passive audience.
Well, when it comes to social media, personally, a couple of years back, I was also like Tom was talking about, just on it, constantly scrolling and just constantly looking at other people's opinions and trying and adapting their opinions into my opinion, and it wasn't me, you know. So I hopped off social media for like a year and a half, and I just chilled by myself in my own, and I wasn't even going out. I'm an antisocial introvert, so I wasn't even going out. I wasn't fucking with nobody. I was just chilling by myself, just kind of detoxing from the social media. Sometimes I would play a video game or something, but nothing like, online or anything. Or well, I tried not to play anything like was too online based and online focused. And I would just watch some anime and just enjoy life. Get out, maybe go for a walk every now and then. But getting off of social media really helped. Like it really helped. Like I feel like I was able to become more of who I am instead of more of who social media wanted me to be. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, if you ever get the chance to do it, you might as well try it. Trust me, it's pretty healthy. Give it at least a month. Start with like a month. No, start with like a week. It's good and go from there.
And now with OpenAI's Sora 2 generating hyper-realistic videos that are almost indistinguishable from reality, social media slop is only going to accelerate. That's why right now we're seeing the average daily social media usage actually dropping in 2025 to 141 minutes per day, down from 143 minutes in 2024. And while this might not sound like much, this is actually the first decrease in average time spent since 2018, representing a reversal of a trend that has been climbing for over a decade. As a recent study found that 34% of Gen Z social media users have quit one or more platforms entirely, while 64% have taken at least a temporary break. Meanwhile, 45% of Facebook users in the United States have considered leaving the social network, the highest of any platform. And now,
bro, I'm honestly surprised that Facebook is still the highest social media, because it feels like it feels like a bunch of older people that are on there instead. But I don't know. I guess it's doing better than I thought. I thought TikTok would be higher. Well, no, I thought TikTok would be higher than Snapchat. I thought Snapchat. Look, I thought it'd be like I thought it'd be like Twitter or X, as people call it, then Instagram or Instagram and then Twitter, and then like TikTok and then Facebook. I thought it would be something like that. I was off. I was way off. But while I have your attention, let me show you a better thing of AI brain slop that I realized. Hold on. First off, I think things like this are pretty cool. It's like a Animal Planet, but for Pokemon.
Rest. His father urges him on. He must become strong to survive on his own. When a newborn takes its first breath, it is fragile, a vulnerable spark in a wild and merciless world. In those early months, the father stands guard, never allowing danger to come close. Predators lurk, always waiting for an opportunity. Soon, Chimchar must learn the fundamentals of life in the wild, to climb in order to escape threats, to forage for food, to sharpen his senses, for even in the dark of night, hunters are watching. By watching his father fight, overpowering rivals in brutal contests of strength, Chimchar learns. Hidden, he waits patiently for prey. And when it appears, he launches forward, swift and fierce, driven by instinct. With raw fury, he overwhelms his target. Victorious, he returns with a trophy, pride burning in his eyes.
Now,
Chimchar trains with...
I like things like that, and it may be AI brain slot, but it's kind of cool because it's like I said before, it's like Animal Planet, but for Pokemon. Now some real AI brain slot gonna be, is there AI brain slot? Yeah, it's gonna be like this. It's like SpongeBob and Patrick, by the way. Now, I'm not even sure if that's made with AI. Just say Kote animation, but I don't even know if it's made with AI. But that's an example of, I guess, brain slop. If it was made with AI, that's AI brain slop. But anyway, I just wanted to show you those real quick. I think I might have ADHD. Anyway.
Now something's happening that's accelerating this exodus even faster. I'm sure you've seen how every other clip on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube is now a Sora 2 short. Whether it's Tupac stepping into a wrestling ring with Bob Marley, or cartoon characters driving away from roadside police stops. We are now entering a new era of social media where AI dominates every aspect of both creation, engagement and consumption. It's not just a trend or a passing fad, it represents a fundamental change that we don't have any control over. For the first time, AI-generated content isn't just appearing on social media, it's dominating it. The videos now look real, they're engaging, and they rack up millions of views. Which is the tipping point people have been warning about. The moment when authentic human connection, the original premise of social media entirely, gets completely drowned out by artificial content optimized purely for engagement. When the platforms you join to stay in touch with...
I mean, people want money, you know what I'm saying? And if people can spend like less than an hour behind the computer vibe coding some AI brain slop and throw it online, get a bunch of views and get paid for it, I mean, why go to work? Why go to a fucking 9-to-5 job and do manual labor, or have a corporate boss that's an asshole, or have a fucking Karen in your office that is gonna nitpick about every little thing you do? So, I mean, I get why people are doing it, but at the same time, it's like, man, there's like he said, that authentic human connection is disappearing, you know? So I mean, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. You know what I'm saying? And it might take a long time to get better, but eventually it'll get better, hopefully. No, it will. Yeah.
Friends become indistinguishable from junk mail. Just like emails used to be a way to connect with others, now it just fills up your inbox with a bunch of crap. And the exact same process is happening right now with social media. And we can see this transition so clearly if we jump back into when social media was genuinely social. If the internet today feels flooded with fake content and slop, one of the most valuable things you can do is learn how to tell what's real. That's where TryHackMe comes in. It's a browser-based cybersecurity platform that teaches you how to think like a hacker, safely, legally, and hands-on. It's all browser-based, no setup needed. You can just open it and jump straight into real-world labs. You're not just reading about cybersecurity, you're doing it by hacking real machines and solving real scenarios that mirror actual cases from the industry. Let me show you one of their beginner challenges called OSINT. OSINT stands for Open Source Intelligence, finding information using public data. It starts with a single photo, drop it into a metadata tool, and then boom, the username pops out. A quick Google search will then pull up a Twitter account, and yep, that avatar answers one of the room's questions. Digging further, the same handle also links to a GitHub account that reveals 2 more answers, his email and the city he lives in. This is getting interesting, but I'm not going to spoil the rest. I challenge you to finish the room, especially if you can uncover the Wi-Fi network they used or the password. No peeking at the answers. So head to TryHackMe and see if you can finish yourself. And use the link in the description below and start with OSINT. And if you want full access, you can also use my code MOON25 for 25% off the annual plan. In the late 1990s and early 2000s,
You know I had to bring that up. I'll try that like when I'm like online or some shit.
social media platforms were essentially experiments aimed at making the internet more useful for creativity and connection. 6 Degrees, considered the first social network, launched in 1997. It was the first platform where you could actually create a profile and connect with others digitally. Friendster came in 2002 and developed the concept, focusing on helping people meet through mutual connections. LiveJournal allowed people to blog and build communities around shared interests. Most people born after the 1980s have probably never even heard of these platforms, but they were really minimalist, giving the users the technological tools they needed to communicate about hobbies and interests. Here's what LiveJournal describes itself as: a simple to use communication tool that lets you express yourself and connect with friends online. You can use LiveJournal in many different ways, as a private journal, a blog, a social network, and much more. Or in other words, pretty much everything social media should be. And then when MySpace arrived in 2003, it changed the game. You could customize your entire page with HTML, including
Bro, you could add background music to your page, man. The hot song that just came out. Oh, that's my jam. That song, I vibe with that song. That shit is me for the entire year. When you add it to my backgrounds page for MySpace. Now you can't do that shit anymore. Unless you still use MySpace. Does MySpace still exist? Does MySpace still exist? Hold up. MySpace was truly like your space, you know what I'm saying? Huh. It might still exist. Founded in 2003. Holy, look, you can sign in using Facebook or Twitter now. But yeah, it looks like it still exists. I wish I could just look for something at. That's right. You had to go to your page and then go to your friends, something like that. But yeah, hey.
Backgrounds, layouts, and embedded music. People spent months designing their pages. Your profile felt like it belonged to you, giving people their own corner of the internet without owning a website. And
bro, imagine if you could still like customize. You know, he said you could customize your background, embed music. What if as like a YouTuber or a streamer, you could embed your stream and if people go to your social media link, then they'll be watching your stream will be embedded in somewhere in the background or on the page somewhere. They could be watching your live stream while checking out your social media. That'd be cool.
Here's an important observation about these early social media platforms. They supported our collective culture. The rock band the Arctic Monkeys got signed because fans created a MySpace page for them and uploaded demos. And whether it be Tyler the Creator or Calvin Harris, just so many of our favorite artists got their break through MySpace. Entire musical and artistic genres were created on social media, and people would regularly meet up with the friends they made. And we can't forget about MSN Messenger either. People couldn't wait to get home from school to log back on and talk to their friends again through MSN. Early Facebook in 2004 and Instagram in 2010 pretty much followed the same spirit. Your feed showed posts from friends in chronological order with the newest first. Instagram was all about photos with filters, a creative platform where hashtags circulated your work to new audiences. So much so that they barely even monetized the platform, with Instagram barely having any ads and hardly collecting any real data on its users. We could also see the same thing with early YouTube, when people had customizable pages and real authentic videos that made you feel a connection to the creator. But it was around 2009 when social media started changing. Facebook introduced EdgeRank, an algorithm that decided what you'd see based on engagement. Instead of chronological feeds showing your friends' posts, the platform now prioritized content with more likes, comments, and shares. This became far more intelligent with machine learning, which personalized content deeply to each user. And so within a few years, every major platform now followed suit. Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram all adopted engagement-focused algorithms. Facebook went public on the stock market in 2012 and Twitter in 2013. And so suddenly, connecting with friends and other wholesome or positive use cases for social media, such as gaining exposure for your artistic pursuits, now started to take a backseat once investors became involved.
Yep, because now, yeah, we gotta get those ads in, those ad revenue, especially since those companies went public. Gotta go try to get try to rake in the money by putting in ads and raising the stock prices and things like that. And then, of course, you know, it being all about you takes a back seat, and it being all about the investors and getting the ad revenue and things like that are going to go up front, because even like the top investors are going to, like, even though some of the investors are going to be like, hey, we've invested this much, or we'll invest this much more if you put our ad in at this point, you know, something like that. Unfortunate.
Calvin Harris himself was interviewed in 2010 on how his social media break years later changed his career. His outlook on social media had already become much more pessimistic. Listen to what he has to say in this clip.
I really think the internet's just killing everything. Everything's getting worse. Nobody speaks to each other anymore. Nobody goes for walks, you know. There's no romance in the internet. It's a cold place. But you've got to use it. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like just being taken down from court to the cells in a pair of handcuffs. Just be like, all right, I'm going to the internet now.
At this point, the race was on to capture as much of everyone's attention as possible.
You do have to use it because it's become such an integral part of our society and our life. Now, there are people that just go cold turkey and just go off the grid. You know, shout out to them. But I don't know how they, well, obviously they learn how to do it. They just learn how to camp and like survive off the wilderness and things like that, which is awesome. You know what I'm saying? But that's not really the type of lifestyle that I'm trying to live. You know, I'm not trying to live no off the grid lifestyle. I'm trying to live in a penthouse in Seattle. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's just me.
Actual friends got pushed down somewhere you'd probably never scroll to. And yep, we do still have Instagram and Snapchat stories, but let's take a second to think about what they really are. Instagram stories are just there for 24 hours and they're more or less gone forever after that. They're a fleeting moment in a sea of noise. You might just get one brief glimpse of what your friends are doing, if they even are incentivized to post at all. Instagram also released this new feature that shows you what your friends are watching, but it's probably just the same random stuff you're watching and doesn't seem very useful for anyone. Short form video then took over everything, and soon once TikTok copied Vine and maximized the short form model, all social media companies would then follow suit, taking over everything once the technology allowed it to.
Infinite scrolling. That's how, the longer they can keep you on their platform, the better for them. Because even while you're infinite scrolling, you're going to see a bunch of ads. You'll be infinite scrolling, you'll see an ad. Scroll past that, or you might watch it for a bit because it may take you a second to realize it's an ad. Keep infinite scrolling, another ad. But as long as they can keep you on their platform, then they're winning. And you know, you're just getting that entertainment, that little brain rot going, that your brain cells are firing off, giving you that dopamine rush, and you just whatever. When instead you could be going for a walk, you know, you could be going to the gym, you could be going out to meet people, you could be hanging out with your friends, you could be outside skateboarding, you could be creating something, you know. But yeah, that's just how it. But people have to, and I think this will happen eventually, slowly over time. People will learn to, huge like limit themselves to social media. Like I said before, it has to get worse before it gets better. They'll they'll be able to be like, all right, I saw 5 videos, that's good enough. Let me go do something constructive. Let me go do something, be artistic. Let me go explore outside somewhere I haven't been before. Let me go to a new restaurant that I haven't been before. Something, you know what I'm saying? Let me write a paper. Let me work on the book I'm working on. Let me do this, do that. Eventually, we'll get there, but it's still getting worse before it gets better.
Which became especially toxic because it's built entirely around showing you peak moments, exotic holidays, perfect bodies, designer brands, crazy personalities, and 20-something entrepreneurs supposedly making 9-figure salaries.
And then everybody sees what's on the social media and things like that, and they think that their life should be like that. But since their life isn't like that, then that depression hits. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I want to live like that. How come I'm not living like that? And everybody I see online is living like that. That's because everybody that you see online is only showing those kind of moments. They're not showing how they got there. They're not showing all the work they did to get there. They're just showing you the peak moments, so that they can be like, yeah, look where I am, look what I'm doing. Yeah, blah blah blah. And then of course you get depressed, and instead of going out to work towards getting to your own peak moment, you're just sitting at home, infinite scrolling, and getting sad that that's not your life. It's messed up, bro. And then of course, there's the like AI filters and all this other shit that women are using. They see these other women who represent a certain quote unquote beauty standard, and then they are mad that they don't look like that, and then they go out and try to get plastic surgery and things like that, or they see what the AI filter changes their original face to start looking like, but they know that when they go into the mirror in their bathroom, they don't actually look like that. And so they start to be, sad about that, and they go out to get plastic surgery to make themselves look like they do what they do with Instagram filters or AI filters, make them look like, and they just mess up their face. Like, you got freaking girls in their 20s getting Botox, girls 18 getting Botox, and it's like, you don't even need that until you're like 40 to like 50 or 60, 70. You don't need that shit right now. But you're out here going and getting it because you're in chasing the Kardashians and shit like that, and you're messing up your entire face. And then when you start to get older and like your face starts to get saggy, it starts to look horrible. You have to keep putting in more and more Botox until you completely look like a fucking troll or something, like a real live troll. That's just what are you? You know what I'm saying? Are you okay? Are you human? Is your face okay? Looks like it's been fucked up. So it looks like somebody smacked you with his face with an ugly stick. Are you okay? And people just are trying to chase the image that they see of themselves online. And that's this is not how it works, you know?
And so suddenly today, when you go on your For You page, it's probably rammed with algorithmic junk like everyone else's. Whether it's OnlyFans models everywhere trying to win subscriptions, people selling fake courses on how to make millions by sitting at home, or just random AI slop. As for Facebook today, it now just feels like a strange place and nothing like it once was. It's more of a community billboard for boomers or just people who want to complain about something. Most of the time, people just use it to sell random junk. Then TikTok came along and killed whatever was left of the truly social part of social media. People think TikTok's core innovation is vertical short-form video, but that's not the only thing. TikTok's real breakthrough was saying forget about following people. They rebuild your feed from scratch based on what the algorithm thinks you'll watch, not who you choose to follow. It's one big black box that listens to everything you say, watches everything you do online, and then spits out content that might just seem random, but is actually extremely well tuned to its target audience. So by 2018, Meta's own internal data revealed something pretty damning that confirms everything we're getting at here. Only 17% of what you see on Facebook comes from friends. On Instagram, it's even worse, just 7%. Everything else is the algorithm's best guess of what will keep your thumb moving. Zuckerberg admitted it's not about friends anymore. He said it's about the entertainment. He said the friend part has gone down quite a bit. just as we see the huge rise in generational loneliness. It's as if social media has become one massive broadcast system, where we sit passively and watch it like a giant billboard flashing before our eyes, and call that entertainment, making social media just the modern day junk mail. But of course, none of this happened by accident. You see, back in 1998, Stanford psychologist B.J. Fogg launched the Persuasive Technology Lab. The goal here was to educate tech students, many of those involved in creating the early internet, and they were being educated on how to manipulate human psychology through technology. And among those students was Mike Krieger and Kevin Systrom, Instagram's founders. They learned the playbook and knew exactly what they were doing when they began to refine and optimize the platform using algorithms, which only truly became possible in the early 2010s. By 2020, internal research then showed Instagram was wrecking people's mental health. An internal report found links to body dysmorphia, eating disorders, and depression. They had the presentations, the data, and everything.
Just like I mentioned before, the depression from the low self-esteem, eating disorders, because, and of course the body dysmorphia and everything, because even on Instagram, I think there's even an automatic filter. I'm not sure if there's when you take a picture and put it on, or you take a picture, put it on Instagram. I'm not sure if there's an automatic, if it automatically puts a filter on it, or if you just like choose one, or if you have the option to choose one. I'm pretty sure it might be the latter. Like you have the option to choose through a bunch of filters, but people see what they look like through the filter, then they look at themselves in the mirror, and it doesn't match what they see, what they put online. And so women go out, people go out catfishing other people, and people just they go through the whole, they suffer from body dysmorphia, and then they want to do plastic surgery to make themselves look like they do through the filter online. Then they try to do, then once they do that, they go take another picture and put it online and using another filter, and that filter changes how they look again. And well, now you still don't look like what you still don't look in real life, what you think you look like online, or what it looks like you look online.
But they chose obviously not to fix it, because to fix it would have meant less screen time, which meant less money. We all probably know by now that low value brain rot social media content is terrible for you. It wastes your time, your life, rewires your dopamine system, and leads to you never being able to focus on anything for long stretches. When social media...
No, I guess not.
Social media content is terrible for you. It wastes your time, your life, rewires your dopamine system, and leads to you never being able to focus on anything for long stretches. When social media is just a click away, the brain is always occupied, always being fed something in those quiet moments when we'd otherwise actually be using our brain for what it's there for, to actually think. Harvard professor Arthur Brooks recently discussed this in a thought-provoking podcast. He explains that our brains need idle time to activate the default mode network, the system that processes meaning and big life questions.
Why is boredom so bad? Well, because the default mode network makes us think about things that might be kind of uncomfortable.
With social media, we've nearly eliminated boredom. It's always there to avoid 15 seconds alone with your own ruminating thoughts, and the platform exploits this ruthlessly. As he mentions in this clip,
if every time you're slightly bored you pull out your phone, it's going to get harder and harder for you to find meaning, and that's the recipe for depression and anxiety and a sense of hollowness.
Brooks describes an experiment where people could sit quietly for 15 minutes or push a button giving them painful electric shocks. Most chose the shocks. That's the
Are you... Holy shit. So instead of sitting quietly and peacefully for 15 minutes, people are choosing to shock themselves. I know I'm gonna say it's like people choose to harm themselves, but it's not like a huge harm. But let's say they started changing it up a bit. Sit quietly for 30 minutes, or take like an EpiPen or something and poke yourself in your hand. It'll make yourself bleed. Sit quietly for an hour, or take a knife and cut your... Stop. Let me stop. That's dangerous, bro.
psychological vulnerability these platforms weaponize daily. People are now really starting to get sick of all of this, both literally and figuratively. The 2024 Elderman Trust Barometer, a global survey of 32,000 people across 28 countries, found that social media is now the least trusted industry. People are posting less, they're turning off notifications, setting screen time limits, and taking extended breaks from these apps.
That's good.
The BBC recently reported on the rise of digital detox travel, where resorts and retreats offer tech-free stays with no Wi-Fi and no TVs as a selling point. The 2025 Hilton Trends report found that 27% of adults planning vacations intend to cut back on social media during their holidays.
Nice.
Pinterest highlighted this in its 2025 Summer Trend report, noting that searches for digital detox ideas jumped 72%, while digital detox vision boards surged 273%.
Now, I remember seeing things like this when, like in shows, you know, older shows where it would be like, no phones that were allowed at the table, at the dinner table, things like that. And parents were already parents were doing that too. It just wasn't just in shows, but they were already trying to get on the digital detox, or have their kids go through at least a short digital detox while you're eating at the table with your family. And in other shows, I've seen when they do that, and then nobody really talks to each other, and then they just all get bored, and then they just pull out their phones anyway. Sadness, bro. Sadness.
Interestingly, the digital detox movement seems strongest among Gen Z, the first generation raised entirely with social media and smartphones. A 2024 study reported that 64% of Gen Z users have taken a break from social media, with 34% having quit at least one platform entirely. Meanwhile, a 2025 survey found that 46% of Gen Zers are taking steps to limit their screen time. So all in all, it really does seem that social media is probably the misnomer of the century. There's nothing authentically social about it. In any sensible society, it would actually be considered antisocial, which now slowly is becoming. But the scariest thing about all of this is that social media hasn't reached some plateau like we might be tempted to think it has. It's still evolving and getting worse, finding new ways to take our life force, energy, time, and attention. We already know that so much of social media today is just theatre. The Lamborghini for that Forex trader is a rental.
Oh, that guy
He's probably
fake. I heard he
drowning in
was
debt
fake.
or being investigated by the SEC. The body transformation involves steroids.
Another fake,
The woman's body is
apparently.
completely plastic.
More fake.
That spontaneous moment took nearly 100 attempts to get right. And that authentic travel video has been refilmed multiple times with strategists and dozens of editors. But it goes even deeper. Scroll through your feed right now and ask yourself how much of what you're really seeing is actually real in any sense whatsoever. Imperva is a cybersecurity company that's been tracking internet traffic since 2013, and their data shows something really crazy. Back in 2013, bots made up about 24% of internet traffic. By 2023, that number
Holy
hit
shit.
49.6%, nearly half. And by 2024, bots became the majority, 51% of
Oh
all
my
internet
God.
traffic.
So 51% of internet traffic is bots, just bots. That's why people are saying things like the internet is dead. Over half of web traffic is bots. By 2030, what do you think that percentage will be? 60, 70, 80? Holy shit, man. And then, yeah, people are interacting. It's like he said, it's becoming, social media is becoming less social. It's just becoming media, handheld. Like it's just becoming media, like travel media. You know what I'm saying? Just you hop on Instagram or something, just start into scrolling, think a bunch of AI brain rot, think a bunch of random media, and you're not interacting with anyone that you know. You're not, interacting with people that you actually have met. You might try to leave a comment on whoever, like a content creator's thing, and try to interact with them, but you don't know them, you never met them, they're not your actual friend. It's just, you're leaving a comment on some shit. Holy crap, man. Social media is I didn't know social media was becoming that unsocial or antisocial. And of course, everybody, if you're going for a road trip with your family, How many of you are going to be on? How many of you are on your phones except for the person that's driving? Oh shit! Even the person that's driving might be on their phone. Holy fuck, man! Especially if they're driving a Tesla. Just self-driving car. Here, you self-drive. Every now and then, I put my hands back on the wheel. Like, I'm gonna be on my phone. Just scrolling, infinite scrolling. Man, I'm gonna try to start making it a point to like, just social, just fucking detox. Like let's say like once my content creator career actually finally starts taking off, like I'll probably do something as an when I start IRL streaming, I'll probably do something where I'm like I don't have access to social media. I can't look at chat and talk to them, but I'll have cameras in my place or wherever I am streaming what I'm doing, and I can't interact with chat and I can't check social media, and I'll do that for like a month, like Kaisnat's Mafiathon, except I'll just do whatever I want to do for a month without interacting with social media or chat, and see how that goes, and see if it's that would inspire anybody to do something like to disconnect from social media for a bit, because that is crazy, man. 51% of web traffic in 2024 were bots.
For the first time in a decade, automated traffic surpassed actual humans. And these aren't helpful bots either. 37% of all internet traffic in 2024 was labeled as malicious bots, scams, misinformation, and manipulation. In Ireland, 71% of internet posts are made by bots. Think about that, that's 7 out of 10 posts. So why the sudden explosion? Well, AI has made it all incredibly easy to create lifelike content and create it at a scale no algorithm can ever detect. Which is why researchers are now predicting that by 2030, between 99% and 99.9% of online content will be AI generated. You might have already heard of the dead internet theory.
Hold on.
Online content.
Seriously? By 2030, 99% of the internet's content will be AI. Oh, okay, it said it will be AI generated. But it didn't say web traffic would be bots. But that's probably comparable. Holy crap.
And will be AI generated. You might have already heard of the dead internet theory, this idea that most of the internet is just fake, just bots talking to bots with a handful of real humans sprinkled in. Yeah. We've even made videos about this in the past. You can feel it already, scroll through the comments on any brainrot post and actually try to figure out which ones are even genuine. The platforms all know this is happening, but instead of fixing it, they're now doubling down and investing in it themselves.
Of course,
Meta created 28 fake AI user accounts in 2024 on Facebook and Instagram. These were full profiles with personalities and voices. They were forced to U-turn when people pushed back against this, but the plan was obvious, and they were just testing the waters. They're now building AI influencer bots that can DM fans, respond to comments, and create the illusion of interaction while being completely artificial. User-generated AI influencers are already here. Aitana Lopez is
and then you're gonna want to meet with this person because you think you have a special relationship with them because you've gotten very parasocial. You got in parasocial with them, and you're gonna want to meet this person. And it's gonna be like, oh, you're gonna find out that, or they're gonna keep dodging you. They'll probably be programmed to just keep dodging you. Like, oh yeah, sure, we can meet up, but I'm busy right now. Blah 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 blah. Let's meet up another time. And you'll never get to meet the person because they don't actually exist.
Completely AI generated, not real, and never existed. And she was making.
You'll probably even end up in like a relationship with it, thinking that's a real person.
Making 10,000 euros a month last year.
Holy
she posts
shit.
content including lingerie photos on FanView, which is basically OnlyFans for AI. Lil Miquela, another AI influencer, pulls in $10 to $11 million a year with brand deals, magazine covers, and millions of Instagram followers. And God knows how many of those.
All right, well, if you can't beat them, join them. I might have to create an AI influencer to see if I can, pull in $10 to $11 million a year. Holy fuck. That's a lot of money.
Followers are AI themselves. But one of the most shocking realizations
even the followers are AI?
Seen is that AI influencers actually get 3 times higher engagement than real human influencers. Real humans average 1.9% engagement. AI gets 5.9%. They're more effective at capturing attention because they're algorithmically perfect from the ground up. No bad angles, no off days, no scandals unless they're programmed to have them. just pure optimized engaging brain rot content. Some brands have started replacing humans entirely because of this. Mango launched a whole teen sportswear collection with 0 human models, all AI generated. Because why pay actual people when you can just generate infinite perfect images for basically free?
Yeah.
Levi's did a similar campaign, and that's why AI companions represent another dimension to this bizarre new internet where humans and bots blend into one twisted construct. Character.ai has about 20 million monthly users spending an average of 93 minutes per day chatting with AI characters. Some people spend over 2 hours daily having conversations with bots. This is supposed to address loneliness, right? Give isolated people someone to talk to like ChatGPT, except studies are now showing it's doing the complete opposite. MIT recently found that those having the most emotionally expressive conversations with chatbots also reported the highest levels of loneliness, which isn't much of a surprise as we're more isolated than ever, and the solution being offered is talking to a bot programmed to simulate caring about you by some giant faceless mega corporation. And now we're literally entering the next phase. AI generated video, which OpenAI promises will finally go mainstream with Sora 2, and it's only a matter of time before incredibly realistic but also very flexible AI video invades social media. Even Elon Musk is saying that by 2027, AI video will be making full-on movies.
Yeah.
OpenAI.
I saw that. His speech or whatever. Where he was talking about things like Grok and other AI. But yeah, he says soon in like a year or 2 years, AI will be able to make full-length shows and then full-length movies, and it'll also be able to make completely done, video games. Instead of like some companies where they put out a AAA game that's half done, and they add a bunch of add-ons that you have to pay for or something like that, or they finish it later when the game should just come out done. Well, AI will just be able to make the entire game completely done and then put it out. Oh man. Now for things like the video games, I don't mind as much, because then they might not try to hopefully they won't let those Karens have their way and be like, it's gotta be woke. Hopefully it won't make woke bullshit. But yeah. This is dangerous, bro. This is dangerous. The social media is becoming less social, and people are becoming less social. I mean, I'm already antisocial and an introvert. So me, I'm chill, you know what I'm saying? But I worry for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But holy crap, man. It's gonna be interesting for me. I'm gonna be watching from and just enjoying the chaos until it finally corrects itself.
AI's first Sora model never truly went mainstream, but Sora 2 has been a different story. As you probably know, it's an AI model that generates hyper-realistic video content. Look at that. If you're not actively looking for flaws, and let's be honest, who does that while scrolling, some may not even realize AI created those clips. In fact, more and more, you're going to start realizing that videos you're watching are actually AI and not human. In the past, this used to be very obvious, but nowadays the line is being blurred. And while Sora 2 does have its flaws, which we'll get into in a moment, the current product is a massive upgrade from other models. It actually obeys the laws of physics to a certain degree. This is because it now understands concepts like weight, balance, and cause and effect. Water ripples and slashes when it's moved. Limbs don't just suddenly appear or move to another part of the body on a whim, like they did with the old video models. And what's even better about this iteration of the model is how it's improved consistency across multiple scenes. Earlier versions of Sora struggled to maintain characters, lighting, and clothing colors across different scenes. Now it keeps up the consistency when switching between cameras. It's not perfect as the characters and camera may jump to weird spots through different scenes, but it is a vast improvement. All these elements shine best in animated scenes. Just
real quick, since we're going over these anime scenes and stuff, let me see if I can find the one I was talking about before right quick. Not this. Oh, Sassy Sasquatch. What's going on,
man?
What
do you have? What do you have there? Oh, just a bit of fucking no good.
Even the smallest creatures can harbor.
This. That's what I was looking for. How do I make it? How do I make it bigger screen so you guys can see? Ah. Is that better? Yeah. This is the Naruto thing. I hope the music is not copyright. I should have muted this. God damn. I should have muted the music. It's too late now though. Fuck it. I'll probably just mute it in, like, after I upload it. Yeah, this kind of thing. If somebody remade every single Naruto and Naruto Shippuden episode exactly how it is in the anime, like not trying to deviate and change shit. If it was remade entirely like using AI, I'd rewatch Naruto again. You know what I'm saying? I'd watch that shit. But let me. Sorry, I digress. Back to what. Actually, I'm not sorry. Fuck you. It's the reaction, and my brain does that. Maybe I have ADHD. I don't know. That's the wrong video. Yeah.
Just look at this clip. If you're not scanning the video frame by frame, you're not going to notice this is AI. However, one of the most remarkable things about this model is that it can render failures. Older models only ever showed success. Every jump landed and every goal scored, even if the laws of physics had to be broken slightly. Sora 2 in contrast has multiple examples of human props failing. What's even crazier is that it's not just generating visual footage. If you wanted audio in previous models, you'd have to find it or record it yourself and spend hours stitching it in and matching it to your clips. There's no need for that with Sora 2. The model creates dialogue, background ambience, and sound effects to match the generated visuals. Sora 2 also allows you to add your likeness to the app using the cameo feature. Just a quick one-time video of yourself with audio of course, and it will generate an avatar that looks and sounds just like you. From there, you can add your digital persona anywhere you want, create your own content from scratch, you can insert your avatar into other users' videos, or let your friends add you to their videos. But as cool as this technology is, it sparks some major concerns. The idea of placing
it's gonna be so easy to like. Well, I mean, people are already like agreeing to face scans and all this other stuff. We give up so much of our information, so much of our likeness, and allowing it to be used even without our permission by other people. Like how I mentioned earlier about the I think it was, what was that one guy's name? I think it was Arak, but I don't think it was. I think that was wrong. I think that's wrong. I think that's the wrong name. But it was one of Ludwig's friends, streamer friends, who got caught. He had like a website open that had female streamers, and AI was used to make the female streamers, nude. So yeah, that was the whole thing, if y'all remember that. But so people's likeness is being used without their consent and everything like that, and now you can send your AI bot to be in a friend's video. And bro, what if somebody makes an AI? What if somebody uses AI to make you look like you're doing a crime? And what if the technology eventually gets so good that you have a tough time defending against it, even though you were in your home asleep at the time of said crime was happening? And then and then it's gonna be like, well, you say you were at home asleep, but that you being at home asleep is the actual AI video. This is you actually doing it. It's like, nah, bro, come on, man.
yourself in crazy places with one prompt is awesome, but what happens if a stranger gets hold of your avatar, especially one with bad intentions? Deepfakes are already a massive issue, but Sora 2 takes things up to a disturbing new level. In fact, within days,
what'd that say?
Already a
teen dies after AI sextortion scam. Rise in Nudify app blackmail. Holy shit, it's worse than I thought. It's worse than I thought. So somebody probably would like, give me this much amount of money, or I'll send this to your parents and say that you were doing this. And then the teen, pinned into the corner and just, that's messed up, man.
A massive issue, but Sora 2 takes things up to a disturbing new level. In fact, within days of launch, Taylor Lorenz reported that a stalker was already using Sora 2 to create AI videos of her. And as the app's guardrails aren't that reliable, some users have shown they can generate suggestive videos of people, and OpenAI's own system card admitted that Sora 2 failed to block prompts for generating videos with nudity or sexual content, using a real person's likeness 1.6% of the time. But this is only the start. The Washington Post's Drew Harwell had no trouble creating rage bait or videos of fake crimes. The fact that the app accepted his prompts for women splattered with white goo showed that you could potentially incriminate people with AI generated footage, or people could use it to incriminate you. Sure, you might cry out that it's AI generated, but it can sow the seeds of doubt anyway, as studies have already shown that even when we know something is fake, the content can still change our opinion. And there's this concept called the liar's dividend, where people can palm off real footage as AI generated to avoid being held accountable for something. Now obviously misinformation isn't a new thing, but video kicks the realism and intensity up a gear, and it's only a matter of time before the models become more accurate and the videos longer and more detailed and in depth. Plus, at least OpenAI is a big company with a big profile and can be put under the spotlight and pressured. Eventually there will be open source AI video tools like Sora 2 with zero guardrails or restrictions whatsoever. As for social media, those stupid videos of the Queen fighting Stephen Hawking at the UFC might just seem entertaining for a brief moment, but what do they really mean to anyone? It's exactly like what Zuckerberg said. The friends aspect of social media has now gone. Its educational potential has declined.
Anti-social media.
Pure absurd 5-second Sora 2 generated clips straight to the brain. But those absurd Sora 2 clips aren't even the biggest problem. There's something far more insidious happening than most people scrolling.
I'm not gonna lie, that one of Bigfoot sniping the kid in the wheelchair. I shouldn't laugh at that, and you shouldn't either. If you did, you're going to hell. I'll see you there.
Through their feeds have no idea about at all, as AI isn't just creating fake videos, it's destroying our ability to know what's true at all. It's why even Mr. Beast is now warning about AI coming for content creators. The YouTube channel Curse Gazette, Mr. Beast is now...
When AI videos are just as good as normal videos, I wonder what that will do to YouTube and how it will impact the millions of creators currently making content for a living. Scary times. See, we need regulations. We need regulations and laws against this thing and against AI. We need a way to contain it and make sure that people aren't using it to blackmail others or to sextort others. And we need to be able to do this, but it's gonna take a while before we actually do things like that. Before the government actually, gets into gets deeply involved into regulating AI and making sure that it's not used for evil. You know what I'm saying? That it's at least used for more good than evil. Like AI based like recreations of anime with AI would be okay, but taking somebody's likeness and doing something with it is grounds for jail time or something. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Warning about AI coming for content creators. The YouTube channel Curse Gazette recently exposed this problem by accident while doing what they always do, making videos and fact-checking them. Their research process is intense. Every video involves over 100 hours of fact-checking. They then verify information with primary sources, ideally peer-reviewed papers, and then bring in expert reviewers to critique everything. So they definitely know what they're doing. But when AI research tools appeared, they did get excited. Finally, there was a tool that could help gather information faster.
But
so they tested it out on a hypothetical video about brown dwarfs.
I bet it wasn't
with failed
real.
stars between planets and actual stars. The AI generated dozens of pages
some of it
of
was
fascinating
false.
information with links to sources. It looked incredible. Then they actually started fact-checking it, and that's when things got slightly disturbing. About 80% of the information did check out. It was all traceable to Wikipedia, papers, and legitimate sources. But the other 20%, the AI had generated compelling facts about broken dwarf superstorms, the nature of their interiors, and specific details that would make great content. But Kurzgesagt couldn't find where any of this came from. So they asked topical experts who flagged the exact same facts, asking where they found this information. It turned out the AI had simply invented it and hallucinated details to make brown dwarfs more interesting than they actually are. But
that reminds me of I remember, like, I think maybe a year, maybe even 2 years ago. It was when people were trying to figure out, where people were asking, I think it was Google's AI, how to make cheese pizza, how to make cheese stay on the pizza for like pizza, and the AI was the Google's AI, did a search and found something off Reddit. It was like a joke where somebody said just use glue to make sure the cheese stays on the pizza, and so Google presented that as a factual statement, the question. But how long until that last 20% that the AI made up? How long until it's all 100% actual, real, and that from things that you can actually go back and look into? Shit. How long until it's how long until you think it's all 100% factual things that you can go back through and look to, but the AI has actually infiltrated those other sources that it got it from and added that information in it by itself. It's still made up by the AI. It just went in and added it in order to make it seem like it's real, And then other people are going to be going to those same sources for information about certain things, and they're gonna think that this is 100% factual when it's AI infiltrated, added. That makes sense.
here's where the nightmare really begins. Kurzgesagt kept investigating the sources the AI provided. One was supposedly an article from a news site written by a human journalist, but the structure felt familiar. It was the telltale sign of someone slightly rewording AI-generated text. They then ran it through an AI detection tool and it scored highly, though AI detectors are notoriously unreliable. But then a few weeks later, purely by chance, Kurzgesagt saw a brown dwarf video pop up on YouTube, and it contained every single false fact that the AI had made up. And so do you see what happens here? This is the feedback loop that's killing truth online. AI is inventing facts to make content more interesting. Then a content creator will use AI for research without thorough fact-checking. They then publish content containing those invented facts. That content then gets hundreds of thousands of views, becoming a legitimate source. The next person's AI scrapes that content as credible, and so now the false information is being confirmed by multiple sources. The misinformation then spreads exponentially across the internet, and the original lie becomes impossible to trace. The made-up facts are now true because they exist in multiple places online with engagement metrics to back them up. And guess what AI feeds off? That exact same content in a self-destructive feedback loop. Meaning that social media and the internet, the entire library of human knowledge, is now being corrupted from the inside out, and social media is the primary distribution channel. Which is why this is now signaling a new phase of social media. It started as human-to-human connection. You posted photos from your actual life and your friends commented. You could find new communities, cultures, and subcultures. That was phase 1. Then came the bots. At first they were obvious, but they quickly evolved, and suddenly you couldn't tell if an interaction was real or manufactured. This was phase 2, humans and bots mixed together, but at least the content itself was still mostly human created. Now,
and also you couldn't really tell that some of the content wasn't human created, or at least it gets to that point, and things get worse and worse and worse, and then
we've crossed the line into phase 3. and the human layer is disappearing entirely. You're not just competing with bots for attention anymore, you're consuming content that was never touched by human hands at all. AI does the video, does the captions, it optimizes when to post it, and it even generates the comments responding to it. And the really disturbing part is that there's no human in the loop anymore to even question whether this is a good idea. The platforms want engagement, the AI then delivers engagement, and the result is something no one wants or ever even asked for. Something that's completely opposite of the original purpose of social media. Which is then what brings us to a critical point. Who actually gets to escape from all of this? You know, walking away from social media just sounds simple, but for millions of people, it's really not optional. Social media is now embedded into everything. To get a job, it probably takes place on LinkedIn and other social media sites. Businesses like this YouTube channel depend on YouTube, but for others that can also be Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook to reach customers. Families that are scattered across countries still use Facebook and Instagram to stay connected. If you want to date a girl, you have to give her your Instagram. And now you can't even pick and choose the legitimate use for social media without having to expose yourself to all this slop. And the digital divide isn't just about who has access to technology anymore. It's about who can actually afford to refuse it at this point. Can you afford to go on a week digital detox when your entire work, social media, and life and family rely upon it? For most people, this just isn't even an option. But for the people who build these platforms, well, they know exactly how dangerous they are. Steve Jobs infamously didn't let his kids use iPads. The former Facebook president Sean Parker admitted they were exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology. Chamath, who worked on Facebook's growth, said he feels tremendous guilt and that the short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops we've created are destroying how society works. Most tech executives who built all of this social media stuff, all the ones who made insane profits from it, are keeping their own children away from it, and they openly admit that none of this is healthy or good for us at all. It's a profit extraction machine that we can never switch off. Unless you're in the upper echelons of society, never needing to worry about work, or even connecting with anyone else around you, you're basically stuck into this loop.
That's what I'm trying to get to,
why the people
personally.
most harmed by social media,
eventually.
those whose mental health suffers, those whose entire lives revolve around social media, those whose time gets stolen, who fall into algorithm-driven rabbit holes, even though they don't want to, are often the ones who can't even afford to leave. And as we saw throughout this video, this divide will only deepen. The people trapped in the social media hellscape will find themselves surrounded by less and less humanity, and more artificial content designed purely to maximize engagement. And the people who made these platforms have essentially built a system they consider too toxic for their own families and children. And yet they deem it perfectly acceptable to profit from everyone else's addiction to it. Which brings us back to where we started. People are doing the last thing left they can do and are trying to leave at all costs, to get better sleep, clearer focus, and more presence. With some real conversations that don't get interrupted, conversations without Generation Z stares, to have boredom that actually leads to creativity instead of infinite scrolling, to become the person they want to be, to have their fear of missing out replaced by the joy of missing out. The benefits are obvious to everyone at this point, but like any addiction, quitting is far from easy, especially for most who can't afford to leave that easily. The platforms spend billions engineering addiction. They hire Stanford PhDs to exploit human psychology and convert genuine connection into a commodity, then strip out the humans and completely outsource the entire thing, stealing all of the world's information, all to make you watch the next 10-second stupid reel. They started nearly 30 years ago and have been optimizing and optimizing ever since. People are trying to leave and people are leaving in record numbers, and still this continues. Social media promised all of us to bring the world closer together, and it succeeded for a brief moment in time during the golden age of the internet. And then once it had us, it isolated us and monetized our insecurities, took away our time, and gave us loneliness, now replacing everything that was once human. And now it might just be that the only way to win is not to play at all. And if you can actually peel yourself away from all of this stuff, you can finally grasp just how bad it truly is.
Man,
social media.
Man, that is, things are getting scary, and I think it'll be in the future. It'll be popular to do IRL live streams where you're not interacting with social media, you're not interacting with chat, and like you spend a week or a month doing proactive things and trying to encourage others to do the same thing. Like I said before, if I was already at the level of popularity in streamers, then I'd be trying to you know, do a marathon, do like Kai Cenat's a marathon, Mafiathon, but without interacting with without interacting with social media, without interacting with chat. Just a month of like, have a trainer come through for exercise, have moments of just meditating, and just have time, just spending time with friends and being social, maybe playing a fucking board game, or reading, or playing some Halo, not like online, but like co-op, same screen, kind of thing, going through legendaries and stuff like that. But yeah, in the future, it'll be eventually become popular to disconnect from, to show yourself disconnecting from social media. And yeah, those would be the hot new live streams or something. Excuse me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, links to this video and links to the channel that we just watched will both be in the description below, so be sure to check out Moon. And while you're there, don't forget to do those 3 things I'd like to ask you to do, and like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, don't forget, peace and much love to you.